It is election day, the 5th of November. Very, very important. We're going to quickly cover this, and then we're going to dive into jumping into Messari. We're going to research Solana, and I'm going to show you how we can do it and how you can do it so that you can do your own research, essentially. So let's dive in. Welcome. So election day, step one, if you're in the US, and if you're legally allowed to vote, go vote. Step two, stake your soul. That's voting on the blockchain. Now, this is very a little bit of humor here. So it says, this is Eric.eth. Tomorrow, most eyes in America will be on Polymarket, an app built on Ethereum. Pretty darn cool. This is extraordinarily funny because it's built on Polygon, and he's got another tweet that says he was bearish, and for whatever reason, Profit from MetaDAO just says this for whatever reason. I don't know, to be funny, copy pasta, but it's also ironic to think that most eyes in America. No, it's literally a couple of 100,000, maybe maximum, crypto users. Now, the important thing is you vote. You vote, so go and vote. There are some people that have put on massive, like $1 million or $10 million bets for Trump, and who knows how these things will go. I haven't got any bets on. It's kind of a bit scary to do so. Anyway, there's another pretty cool thing, and this is from Brian Armstrong, and it relates to basically standing with crypto. So this Twitter account right here. So specifically, the crypto election updates, you can go to this, and when things start to come through, you're going to see which states have a pro-crypto candidate has been elected, which ideally, the vast majority of them. That may also help you if you're going to maybe move to a state. If you see something that is not pro, you may want to move somewhere else. Anyway, let's dive straight into the state of Solana. So this is with Messari. Messari, you can go and get a membership. It's pretty damn affordable, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm just going to pull up all my notes that I've got on this. Just be 1 second here, because there's quite a bit of stuff to cover. Now, we can do all live questions during this time, so feel free to ask any questions that you want, and we'll go through all of them. But just quickly, let's go through and pull up everything here. All right, perfect. All right. So in this is done quarterly. It's a quarterly report, and what I'm looking at is not just to be bull posting or just to be like a perma bull or just a sol maxi, because I'm not any of those things. We want to look and see what the trends are. Then we can use the data of the trends to work out a thesis that is worthwhile. As an example, if we see a huge amount of liquidity entering into DeFi, then we get involved in DeFi. If money starts rotating to NFTs, that would suggest we should get involved in NFTs. So let's go through them step by step. But as I mentioned, we can answer all live questions. Now, one thing you can do is you can ask Copilot. You can just say, give me state of Solana Q3 2024, TLDR, the bullish things, the bearish things, all that sort of stuff. Because it's a 39-minute read, but we can still go through it pretty quickly. So starting here with Solana key metrics. I'm going to just remove myself. No, I think we can see everything here. First, quickly, how's the 10K challenge going? Need to check up on that. Unsure. Like in general, my portfolio is fine because it's a longer term thing. It's not about degenning too early, but it's probably slightly up or slightly down, something like that. But when it comes, I think it will come. All right, so let's have a look here at Solana key metrics. Now we can compare to the last quarter, but I also want to compare to 1 year ago. So the average daily fee payers, 100,000 that are actually paying fees on the network. Quarter two, 900,000, and now massive growth. So there are far more wallets actually using the network at over what is this even? Over 1.8 million wallets every single day. And then we can look at other things like the circulating market cap, which is relevant, but these things will go up and down just depending on sentiment and leverage in the system. And if this does not go up and down, because it's relying on BTC for a large to a large degree, I do want to see what this is actually doing. We can also see the average transaction fee has gone up exceptionally. This is both good and bad. A lot of this will be solved with ZK compression, but this is just what it costs to get through a transaction in a timely manner these days. Active validators, this has gone down and then down, but this is not actually bearish because there's a lot of validators that were just not really properly looking after the network. And I guess now it's a little bit more costly to run a validator. This is still a pretty decentralized network, not as much as Ethereum though. Now this is where the real beautiful thing is we're looking at narratives. The narrative, if the narrative is NFTs, then NFT volume would increase. So this is $1 million last year, and then it goes up. So last year, getting like at the end of the year, there would have been some NFT opportunities. And then even in Q1, and then it's dropped and dropped. This could go up again next month. But this suggests to me that pretty much all NFTs are not the meta. Magic Eden is trying to do their best to create a whole lot of fun, but they may even pivot outside of NFTs. Who knows? They may cover a whole lot of things. Then where does the money and the attention go? Well, it goes into DeFi TVL. So this is why the core thesis has been on like Camino, Jupe, Sanctum, things that relate to TVL metrics. And it's just exploded. Even though it was the price of Sol was bigger in Q1, we're still now in Q3. There's more money that's being bridged onto this ecosystem, onto Solana. Cool. All right. So you're doing a 1K challenge. Fantastic. There will be opportunities when we can, DGM with a certain amount of money to make meme coins or Meteor. We're going to get heavily into Meteor. There'll be other times when I think a slower conviction-based thing is probably a better idea. But the Meteor videos, definitely check those out. All right, let's go down to the next thing, ecosystem analysis. So another thing that fits with thesis, and if we ever see a change in numbers, then the thesis can change. So if NFTs start to come back, then we'll put some attention on NFTs. But the average daily DEX volume, this has gone from like, I guess millions to billions. This is growing exceptionally well. It's slightly down, but that's not a bad thing. This is because there's a reduction in MEV sandwiching. And MEV was disastrous in Q2. It basically stopped the network from being really, really properly used. We can see some other things though. So stablecoin market cap has grown. So even though TVL in general, or rather the price of Sol has gone down, more and more stablecoins are coming onto the network. So it's still a long way to go to get to Ethereum, but big improvements. Liquid staking, this is improved, which is perfect. And we already covered these. But down the bottom here, let me just hide my face for a second. We've got average weekly total raise in ecosystem, projects funded in ecosystem, and average weekly active eco devs. So there's been a bit of a decrease down here. Although raising has been going more, but there's been a bit of a decrease. So that's something to keep an eye on. Maybe it's because of the meme coins just been going a little bit crazy. Not entirely sure on that. But that's not good. That's not a good thing. All right, let's go to the next thing. This is just a general incomplete map of the Solana ecosystem, wallets and everything else. Now let's have a look at DeFi. So specifically, having a look over here, the quarter-on-quarter, all the DeFi dApps have gone up because you can see nothing is negative. Camino has gone up significantly higher. Jupiter's gone up. I don't exactly know where this metric comes from exactly though. Not perfectly sure on that. And MarginFi still lagging behind, but they have had a little bit of growth, which is good to see. But in general, like it's a big three. You can see it clearly right there. Alrighty. Let's go down to the next thing here. So the DEX volume fell 10%. and only Orca and Pump.Fun managed to increase volume quarter on quarter. So you can see Radium, it's dropped. Orca has gone up a little bit, and down here, Pump.Fun. So once again, I think this relates to the fact that sandwiching attacks would happen, and so bots would take up a lot of that volume. I don't know what it is in terms of bot activity. Bots exist on all networks, but you're probably looking at, the vast majority, well over 50% would be bots, just arbitraging different things. It could be even higher. And that's just that keeps things a bit of a healthy ecosystem. In general, it's not good to see a reduction, but there's still a lot of things happening over it, and not a crazy reduction. Coming down here, we've got PYUSD. Stablecoin market grew 23%, and the big outlier was PYUSD growing 340%. So as we see more and more different stablecoins come onto this, if they are backed properly, fine. I just want to be keen just to make sure that whatever is coming out is like properly backed, and if there are incentives, then we can get amongst them. Let's come on down to liquid staking. So Sanctum has been the big merger here, growing a significant amount of market share. Jito's still massive, but it's dropped a little bit. Marinade has dropped quite a bit, and Sanctum is leading the change, doing well with that, which is another thesis on why I think the cloud token is worthwhile. Nothing's financial advice. This whole thing is talking about how Sanctum has 73 LSTs and just adding more and more, which is perfect. Now let's have a look at the NFT volume again. Let's just have a quick look and see. If there's any questions, any live questions, ping them. This is a good time for us to go through different things. So Solana's average daily NFT volume fell by 27% quarter on quarter to 2.5 million, which, let me get rid of myself again for 1 second. This is not good, but this is also why I'm staying away from NFTs. I didn't even know that trend was like this, and it's a downtrend. So you can take it with however you want. If you're going to be farming diamonds and if it's cost effective for you, fine. Otherwise, there are very few NFTs. I think like getting a cool PFP, great, because we don't want to lose money at the end of the day. Cool PFP, perfect. And then maybe some more utility-based things, or a couple of exclusive NFTs to membership as well. They could do well. All right. Come on down to some other consumer-related events. I'll be honest, the new mobile phone Seeker, previously known as Chapter 2, I dig that a lot. There's another phone released or announced at Breakpoint, Jambo. It's far more cost-effective. Not really excited for that, but there is a market for people with affordable phones, which is good. And the gaming stuff I haven't really been over. I'm not. The only thing I'm really excited for here, because I've missed out on Photo Finish, is Moonwalk Fitness. And but if you're keen on some of these, perfect. All right, I'm going to skip deep in because I'm not really sold on the fact that Solana is the deep in chain. Yes, it's got some migrations of the bigger ones, the Heliums and whatnot. Although Grass has done very well, we've just spoken about it quite recently. With Grass, I am using it. I'm using Grass. I'm running Grass, that node, and but we don't know how much they've actually raised or why their valuation is so high. I would still be using these things if I could, like if you had a Hive Mapper device, amazing, but I don't have one. Let's go down a little bit further to payments. So there's some pretty bullish news here, especially if you're a company. Like if you're a company, you're trying to get USDC put into your bank, that's hard. But Sphere Pay or SphereNet from the Sphere team is, let me just double check this is the right one. Yep. This is very, very cool at getting money into your bank. So this is worthwhile. But for most of us that aren't, operating companies and projects, we've got 4 different cards, Solana-based debit cards. Cast is the one I'm most bullish on. But you can check out all of these. Cast is a very decent rewards program. So I dig that. Sanctum hasn't released theirs. I'm unsure on Reap and Squads. I'm not using. All right. Let's go down a little bit more to some infrastructure stuff. So ZK compression is very big news. It's very big news because it basically allows you to like airdrop or get tokens out in a far more affordable way, because as the price of Sol goes up, you need 0.002 Sol for a token rent account, and it just becomes too expensive, especially if you have 100 tokens or 100 NFTs. So this this kind of thing means that you can airdrop to 1 million dresses for like $50. It's still in its kind of development stage, but this will be incorporated into Airship, and Airship will be built into the Seeker phone as well, which is very, very cool. All right. Now, ecosystem projects raising. There's probably a decent number of projects in crypto that have started to raise again, with maybe November being a little bit scary until people work out what's happening with the actual election, because you want some certainty in the markets. But here we've got, this is the best quarter in 2 years, which is brilliant. Obviously, the bear market's not going to be a good time to raise, and now we're starting to see a significant amount, a lot more money coming in this quarter. I don't know all of the different projects, but one thing is hackathons and accelerator programs make things a lot easier on Solana. I'm currently looking into other networks like Near, and sometimes these are like fantastic networks. They've got some really cool tech, but they need more in the way of hackathons. Okay, let's have a quick look at this. Seb, I told you that trading up to 100K was diffident. There are too many devs watching the chain and looking to take advantage. That going from 10K to 100K, it's not like a 2-month challenge. It's a bull market challenge, and I think it will do well. At least it's a goal. If we don't make it all the way there, and I'm confident we would, then I'll give it a go. With this whole system, it wasn't about trying to jump into one meme coin and then flip it, and then into a meme coin, flip it, because that requires quite a bit of information and knowledge and skill. And you can do it like that, though. You can follow Token Guy. Expect to put around 6 hours of work every day, though. This is a little bit more hands-off. But thanks for joining the stream. All right, let's come down to financial analysis. So we're going to go down here, because the next part is just talking about validators. Validator staking, stake with validator.com. Easy. You're done. We run a good validator, and we've got lots of education and stuff like that. So Solana financial overview. Transaction fees have dropped 27%, which is brilliant. Once again, this is a sign that MEV was getting really insane. And so there was a lot of hype on the chain, but it was just very few people making front running you, essentially. And then down here, we've got, of course, annualized inflation has been dropping, and this continues to drop and drop and drop and drop, which is brilliant, which is why, if you go and stake your Sol, then you're staking it, you get around 7%, which is brilliant. Now, the total economic value, the fees plus MEV, it fell by 27%. However, things have started to pick up again, not so much on the MEV front, just a lot more attraction to meme coins. So if there's more demand and more users, brilliant. But if it's just sandwiching attacks, which happened early on around this time of the year, then it's not good to see. Let's have a look at a bit of a closing summary here with, the most important things. So the thing we're probably really broadly excited for, although most of our attention will probably go into meme coins, value plays, token holding, using dApps, all that sort of stuff, growing the Jupiterverse. But in terms of what's actually going to cement Solana's lead, I think it will be as Firedancer rolls out. This is essentially a validator client, a big machine, which allows a lot more transactions, potentially 1 million It's still in its kind of early testing, not early testing, mid journey, middle of life testing. But this here is very, very brilliant. And then ZK compression. Solutions like ZK compression by Light Protocol and Helios is what can keep us ideally all on the same blockchain without having multiple layer 2 solutions like what Ethereum has. All right, do we have any more questions here, or is this going to be a little bit of a smaller stream? That's fine if it is. One thing I want to just point out is we can do this with anything, but when you are looking at your research, following the numbers is a very good way to see, like, if we're expecting growth in an ecosystem. And as I mentioned, we can come to ask Copilot, grab this, and we can just prompt it. Give me bullish news in 2 sentences, bearish things, hyped things, and what you think is the best opportunity on Solana right now. We can prompt it like this, which will help us save quite a bit of time on research. And this is essentially tens, hundreds of hours of research all put into this. And then we can just take a quarterly report and spit it out. And if there are other things like this for other layer 1s, then we can cover them as a bit of a summary in other live streams. Now, while waiting for this to load, I'm working on some other videos. One video that I'm looking into, thank you for the person that mentioned it in the questions yesterday, because it's hard to stay on top of everything. We'll see if this comes through. It's not coming through right now. But it was mentioned gradient network. And gradient network is, I'm going to make a dedicated video on this right now. I will put in a referral link, and I'll try and get this video out tomorrow. There will be no live stream tomorrow, but you can watch that. This is like similar category to Grass, a little bit different. Edge computing is not going to be known by a lot of people. Think of it in terms of, as opposed to lots of big servers in the main cities, you've got small servers with a very low latency. So you can ping them very quickly. You can get the data fast, as opposed to, say, trying to get data from Australia or New York. You can just get things very locally. But this I am properly excited for, and I've only just started to dive in. And this already has a lot of different users. A lot of them will be bots. But when this video comes out tomorrow, get amongst this for sure. All right, let's have a look and see if we've got our blurb here. And why did it take away? Cool. We've got a lot less viewers today, which is fine. Probably just because it's the day when you should be voting. Let's zoom in a little bit here. All right, so bullish news. Solana experienced a significant price surge, rallying up to 187. The US SEC removed Solana from its list of alleged securities. Perfect. So ideally, we see this ETF come through for Sol. Bearish, strong resistance at 162. But that's kind of okay. Like there's a range, in my opinion. And there is a technical indicator suggesting a possible drop to $120. If we do, deploy some capital if you can. Some hype developments. Visa expanded its stablecoin capabilities on Solana. As more and more stuff comes, like as the big companies start to use this, Solana will be that perfect blockchain, in my opinion, or as close to perfect as you can get. And the Solana Foundation announced $400K in grants for developers, fostering innovation and community engagement. Perfect. All right, what is the best opportunity on Solana right now? So the DeFi ecosystem and the potential for Solana ETFs, which would attract institutional investors and increase liquidity. So I certainly have my own thesis here, but I guess dollar cost average via Jupiter into Sol, stake it with validator.com. Check out, use some Sanctum LSTs. Use Camino Finance, like even just using Camino Finance, I've got plenty of tutorials on it. You get points, that points equates to a token. That token I really dig. What is my referral code? I still need to get it. Let me just pull it off because I haven't got it live yet. I can actually maybe show you on another panel what it looks like. It's a new system for me. We're still like mid-research. The research is being done right now. I have no referrals, but I'll copy the link here, plug it in. And Machine King, you've been farming Gradient for a while now. Perfect. By all means, ping me some information if you can on Twitter. There's still some stuff I need to know. Basically, you get points. Like as a general kind of thing, it's a extension. This extension is installed in a separate browser profile, and you can use a completely separate computer if you like. I've got Grass here, but I don't know why this is disconnected. And I don't know, I can't remember what that is. It's something to do with checking some stuff. So we've got, basically it pings different nodes. It's trying to work out where things are fastest. And then from there, the next step, we're still researching, but essentially it would be having small servers all around the world, and I will do a dedicated video on it. Either way, very new to this. It's been on for less than 3 hours, but I think it is absolutely amazing. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining in. Remember, if you're in the US, go vote. There'll be no live stream tomorrow, but this video on Gradient will be out, and I am properly bullish. A little bit late, but not too late. Remember, Grass was doing its thing for years, and it still turned out to be a decent airdrop if you really used it. You never know how these things would do in terms of airdrops, but aside from that, it's like there's some things that would just have proper product market fit, so I'm keen to use them. All right, cheers.